Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. How are you doing today? Today we're going to dive right on into our subject for today, and our topic for today is selling and having an insurance license. Now, I had a 214 insurance license, but recently, not too long ago, I got my real estate license and wasn't selling any insurance, But here lately, I've been selling real estate, and I've had some people ask me about life insurance. And I can't sell nothing, and I really have to be very careful because you got to be above board. You can't give out advice and stuff, So I've had to give my opportunities to other people who've got their license. And I had my license since 2017, and unfortunately, I made a mistake. I had a 214 insurance license. So you're probably saying, what's our video about today? Well, our video is about, if you let your insurance license lapse, what do you got to do? Now, I have a 214 insurance license. I will gab it back. And it is very important because I can help people with annuities. I can help people with life insurance, and it's very important. And I really enjoyed doing it for a long time. But as I started selling real estate and stuff like that, I kind of forgot about stuff, and I just put stuff on the back burner, which was not a great idea. So I highly recommend, if you have a license, keep up with your continuing education. And I found out the hard way. Now, they do have the capability to do a lot of your insurance stuff on a 214 or 215 or 220 or all these other opportunities to do Zoom meetings. And that's also continuously, with your insurances, you get the capability to either do them online or in person. But for myself, I'm kind of a real busy person, so I use the BetterCE.com. I've been using them off and on for years. Now they've got it to where it's all set up for you now, where you can go through, because when you have to retake your CEs, the original, if you look here, I'm just going to show you here, guys. I'm going to show you this information. Now, I hope you can see this. Now, this is the continuing education program. I hope I don't get in trouble for copyrighted stuff, but this is really important if you are continuously wanting to get your education. They have a course catalog here, and you can do Zoom meetings. I did one the other day. Also, my money laundering opportunity, the money laundering one with the continuing education, you can do that online too via Zoom, and they have all these other opportunities. And if you'll notice, their pricing is pretty reasonable. It's very inexpensive. You can get 24 credit complete compliance packages. You can get your life agent with the 24 continuing education courses, your health, your 240, your life and agent 215, 218, all lines adjuster, a 620, a 720. It's amazing. And then if you've been doing insurance for a while, which I have been, but it's been a while, it's been over a year that I've done any kind of insurance at all. But like I said, it wasn't that long ago. I could have took these continuing education courses, but I was being lazy. I'm not going to lie. I was getting my gun show on. I was trying to sell real estate and doing my other stuff, because I also have a security guard's license, and I almost lost that one. I had just to pay and jump through some hoops to keep that. And you're probably saying, why do you need all these licenses? Well, it's like, you work hard for stuff and you never know what life will bring you. And I like to have the capability to have multiple streams of income. So if one's not working out and you get another opportunity, like when I'm selling real estate, if people ask me about life insurance, renter's insurance, all these other different types of insurance, by having at least a license, you can have a conversation with them and not go, I don't know. And they have these things that you have to deal with, guys. Laws and code of ethics, rules and regulations. And I'm taking the class right now, and what I like about it, it's a 5-hour course. Now, they've really done some really cool stuff on this platform. What they've done is they used to just give you the information. You take little small tests to be able to, and it's laborious. It's kind of like boring. It's like watching paint dry. But they made it a lot more interesting. What they did was they've added audio to it to be able to follow along with the reading, so you're not sitting there going, I'm just saying, it makes a difference for me. They didn't have that a couple of years ago, and I would have probably already done it if I would have not, if I would have known that. And also with the 20 hour credits, that's for licensees who's got 6 years or more. Now I also have to pick up my annuity, which is a separate program, because you need to know about annuities. Now they got other packages. They also have webinars, which I really love, because I did a webinar the other day, and it was about, and it goes towards my electives. Now you're probably saying electives, yeah, you got to do at least 5 hours of the law and ethics. Then you have the rest of them that you can do electives. And I did one the other day that was talking about how we're using a technology to be able to, sell insurance. And a lot of stuff now is being sold by Zoom. Some people are still knocking on doors. Some people get their leads and they'll call on the customer, set an appointment, and they like to see face to face. And then you have other people that like to get phone calls. That means people will be calling in and they'll be able to talk to customers over the phone, but you have to be licensed. And I'll tell you what, guys, sometimes, in real estate, unless you're selling something or if you're closing, you can sometimes wait 2 or 3 months for an opportunity, because it's like putting people in a pipeline. But I've learned that in insurance, if you have a captured customer where you get multiple people, you pay for some leads, or somebody gives you some leads, you go knock on their door, or you pick up that heavy phone and call them, they've already been looking for some insurance. And if you can walk them through the process, you can sign them up right there, and you can make anywhere from $200 or $300 up to $1,000 on the product and the service that you offer. And the key to success is, unless you have a license, and that means you got to jump through the hoops, get your 24 hours in the beginning, your 20 hours after that, and you have to have these credits. If you don't do it, you lose the opportunity when somebody says, man, I heard about you. Didn't you used to sell insurance? Are you still selling? And I'm like, oh, crap. So what I did was I did my research and I went online. I went to this one company. It's called BetterCEs.com. Now, I recommend them, but for some people, you may have all different ones. I live in the state of Florida, but they're all over the United States, and they give you the capability to be able to get credit hours, 5-hour law ethics updates. You can get and they'll break it down for you, and it's cool. And now before, like I said, I've done some Zoom ones here recently, and also I've got my money laundering one that I'm going to be doing on the 23rd. And that means after I'm done doing all these other things, because I wanted to see, I thought, oh man, it's going to be boring. I got to go ahead and get online. I've got to read all this laborious, boring stuff. And it may not be boring to you, but to me, I mean, it's just stuff that you need to know. Law ain't no joke. Ethics ain't no joke. And to be able to have an idea of how insurance works, it makes all the difference in the world. And I also I had to take a 20-hour class, and that's, like I said, 5 with the ethics and law, and the rest of them I get to do electives. But I also, because I have a 214 insurance license, I have to take a anti-money laundering course. If you're in insurance, you're going to have to take that, and I'm going to be doing it via Zoom so I can listen and watch. Some companies give it to you for free. You just sit and go through the process and fill out the information. But for myself, I wanted to do it via Zoom, and then I looked at the price. I said, oh man, for only like a little bit of money, I can go ahead and sit down and read all this stuff, and yeah, it's kind of boring. But they've got audio available to read along with you. I'm like, oh my gosh, so great, because they didn't used to have that. And I'm just saying, guys, and I've got to do, like I said, the anti-money laundering one, life insurance concepts, traditional life insurance products, disability insurance concepts and coverages, and I've got to do my part 1 and part 2 of my annuities, because I want to be able to help people financially when they retire and so forth, and be able to go from there. Because when you have insurance, you got term insurance and you got whole life insurance. And before I can even sell anything, accidental life insurance or any of that good stuff, I've got to get back and do my continuing education. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because, dang, I had a couple of customers in the last few months ask me, and I can't say nothing about it. I have to be real careful, and I gave it to somebody else, and I missed about, I don't know, a bunch of money is all I can say about that. And I like to have these credentials in my back pocket. I also have a Class A CDL license. You're probably, hey, you got a lot of license. Yeah, I do. But you have to keep up with them. And your real estate license, you got to do it every 2 years. Same thing with your insurance, no matter what. And on top of that, I'm taking general concept of annuities, insurance claim handling basics, legal concepts of insurance agents, overview of disability insurance, personal life insurance planning, understanding insurance underwriting, understanding vital settlements, universal life insurance overage, fundamentals of life insurance, estate planning strategies for small business owners, insurance strategies for businesses, life insurance and retirement plans, on and on and on. They have all of these. Plus, if you're wanting to get a 220 license, but I'm a 214 license, and I recommend if you get a license, get a 215, so that way you also have the health portion, because you're going to be sitting there studying all this stuff. But for me, like I said, I keep my 214. I dropped the ball, guys. I'm embarrassed. I'm just saying. So I had to go back, and I still had to take all the same courses. I could have took this a few months ago and been able to make a little bit of money. So don't let it lapse, because once you do, after so much time, you may have to take the whole course all over, and it ain't easy. It sucks. It's hard. And also, here's the ones for 220, 244, 620, or 720s. You got your areas of omissions, a liability coverage overview, flood insurance overview, review of personal auto policy, insurance claim handling basics, understanding the personal auto policy, legal concepts of insurance agents, personal insurance refresher, understanding insurance underwriting review, homeowner insurance and customer. See, here's another one that if you are a person who's considering getting insurance, but you really don't know what you want to do, you can also get a customer representative license, a 440 or a 442. And you do have some similar courses that you'll have to take, general concepts. You'll have to, your areas of omissions, your liability coverage, flood insurance overview, insurance claim handling basics, legal concepts of insurance agents, overview of disability insurance, personal auto insurance refresher, personal life insurance planning. And this company has got all of this, and you don't have to take all of them. You can just pick and choose the ones that you want. Like I said, it's kind of really neat, and I'm very fortunate because they have a great catalog. They have great people that when you have questions, because when you get your insurance license, if you don't do your continuing education here in Florida, it can cost you almost $300 just to go ahead and pay them because you let your insurance license lapse. And I was like, I didn't want to worry about it. I'll put it off on to another day. Wrong, made the wrong choice. And my name is Gary Lee Stanley. I'm your real estate sales guy, your sales guy, and I'm getting my continuing education done. I got to sit here. I've got to learn. I've got to go over all the basics, fundamentals. Don't be lazy, guys. Because if somebody asks you if you sell insurance and you don't, and you tell them you do, you can get in a lot of trouble. I'm just saying, I'm not that guy. And like I said, I've got some really great videos that are out there that'll tell you all the different, as far as the education and stuff that you need, and why maybe you might want to be an insurance agent in the different companies. It ain't an easy job. It's like any other job. You got to work hard. But with the new technology where you can get phone calls, people calling you, you can work with other people who like to do Zoom meetings. You can do in-person selling. You can do over-the-phone selling. There's just a lot of different opportunities and ways for you to be able to sell life insurance. But if you don't do your continuing education, you're stupid. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm saying I was stupid. That's why I'm sitting here doing my gun show. Just got through going to the gym, get my little workout on, knowing that, man, I need to get to work, start studying, and I felt like, man, I need to share this because this sucks. I got to do all of this when I could have done it a few months ago and didn't have to pay the extra almost $300 just to renew my license and go through all the same stuff that I could have done. But I made a choice to come with, like I said, better CEs. And there's a lot of other companies out there that you can go online and deal with. But they have Zoom classes. They've got all the different programs that are available, your catalogs, your different insurance types. I got a 214, so I've got to do my annuities. I got to do 20 hours of my insurance license, and okay. But until I get that done, I'm not an insurance agent. I got to wait till I get that, get legal. You got to be legal. So don't nobody give me no trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. But the only wrong thing is I didn't do what I was supposed to. I should have done my continuing education and got it done so I can sell some life insurance. So get out there and sell something. But if we ain't asking for the order, we ain't selling it. If we don't do our continuing education, you're screwed. Okay? All right.